again, you who have already went through the lessons, you can come back in time and speak to yourself in a dream and say, hey, Sean, you got to interview this guy. You got to interview this person. You tell your fiance, I had this really cool dream. Someone came to me, but it was you from a future or a past.
Wow.
Right? Because you're a consciousness.
Yeah.
You're not a body. You're a set of ideas, but that set of ideas is only limited to what you allow yourself to remember.
All right, guys, all the way from Connecticut, Krys Ra L. Thanks for making the trip out here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
It means a lot. And you said you've had an interesting couple days out here in Vegas, right?
Yeah, my first time in Vegas. It definitely lives up to the hype for sure. But yeah, it's been interesting. I went to the Oyo Hotel, met a few people there. Saw a lot of cockroaches running around. The energy is...
That doesn't surprise me at Oyo. That's an old hotel.
Yeah, the energy is wild here. It
really
yeah,
is. And there's a lot of loss and misfortune here and death. You probably sensed a lot of that, right?
Yeah, so it's funny. Like right before we started recording, I was saying how whenever you go to different places in the world, you can pick up on the nuances and the frequency shifts. Everything is made of gravity and harmonics. So when you move from one place to another, you're literally moving into a different frequency zone. So depending on like what's happened in that area, it'll create its own field, its own vortex.
Interesting.
So if you're sensitive enough, you can actually pick up on that and feel that. So
yeah,
yes, Vegas is definitely something I can feel.
And that's what causes hauntings, right?
A lot of things cause hauntings. That's a environment for hauntings, I'll say. But hauntings are, I mean, they're caused by lower astral entities that are drawn to like frequency. So if you think of like reality as like a soup, right? In this part of the soup and that part of the soup, you can only experience your like frequency, right? So if you're vibrating at like 432, you're going to be around things that vibrate around the range of like 432, for example. So hauntings only happen in spaces where the frequency is low enough for that environment to actually take place. Yeah.
So if you start entering a haunted place and you start playing frequencies that are high level, will that kind of dissipate the haunting?
It'll shift. Yeah. So a couple things. Either you won't feel that energy because you're in a completely different resonance, right? So it's like, if you were to walk into a place and it's haunted and you start playing music, you're either going to not notice anything because you're in a different field, or those beings will just be gone.
Wow.
Because it can't. Resonance is everything. If you want to know how to shift through dimensions and time, it's all about resonance and all about frequency shifts. So
frequencies are so fascinating.
It's everything.
Dude, I was in an herb store last week, right, with my friend, and we were just shopping around, and she just played a sound bowl. Like, we haven't heard that in a while. I don't think I've ever heard one in person, actually. Within 10 minutes, she saw her dead father.
Yeah.
From one sound bowl hit.
Yep. So why do you think that happened?
It was a root chakra sound bowl. So I'm assuming her root chakra got activated and she was just more susceptible to see spirits or whatever.
So going back to the ocean of reality, so the ethers, right? So I teach ether physics. So when she hit that sound bowl, it created reverberations in the ether, in the medium. Those reverberations in that medium have a specific resonance and a specific harmony. Basically, they're like different pulses that have a pattern to them, right? So that pattern creates a disturbance or perturbation in the medium, in the ether. And that medium, that perturbation is set at a specific pulse. So her dad, right? So he's always there, right? So people who die, they don't go anywhere. They're just at a different octave in the ether. And so when she hit that bowl, it created that octave that probably matched the thoughts that she was having about her dad. And then boom, there he is.
Wow.
So it's like, that's all that magic really is. It's just knowing how to apply the principles of what I call ether physics.
Yeah. So you said they're still here. Do they know they're dead after their physical body dies?
Some do. Usually whenever you die, you go to the most appropriate space where your thoughts are. So if you're like a Christian, right, and you really believe that Jesus is going to come back and save you, or if you're a Buddhist and Buddha, if you were to die or transition, you're going to continue to create that reality. So the body is just a projection of your consciousness. So dying is no different than like leaving one vehicle and moving into another. You're still traveling. You're still moving along the path that we call reality. But people who transition, they go to the place where their thoughts are the most strong, and they create that reality for themselves.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And why do you think everyone dies? Do you think achieving immortality is something we should even be doing?
I don't think anyone dies. I think I only use the word death in this conversation per the conversation.
Okay.
But in truth, no, I don't think death is a thing. I think there is the transition of frequency, right? We would call moving from 432 to 548 a death, right? So the being living in 432 who now starts to resonate at 548, they died to 432, but not really. They just shifted their perception of reality. Wow. So you said the word immortality. I would like to use eternality. So we're eternal, right? So we are the consciousness that inhabits different octaves of itself. We're the medium, we're the source. So we're already eternal.
That's an interesting mindset. So you're just changing frequencies as you evolve to the next form of life or whatever.
Yeah. Yep. And you don't have to die to do that. You can do it through meditation. This is what the yogis, the monks do. This is what I teach people through cosmic frequency and ether physics. It's how to alter your brainwaves so that you can experience different modes of reality. You don't have to die. Reality is always there for you. You know?
Just most people can't access certain other realities, right?
Yes.
So that's where cosmic frequency comes in. So what exactly is that, and how does that work?
So cosmic frequency is bringing people into the homeostasis with the cosmos or with their higher self or with the ethers. So I teach people how to move from, I would say, base level thinking into the more cosmic perception of reality. So we teach different ways of viewing their thoughts, the ideas that they hold, because the ideas and their perceptions that people hold determine what they can experience, what is real or not real. So what we do, we have a cosmic academy. I do one-on-one services and help people change their life and have a more integrated human experience, but also showing them how to expand their consciousness. So it's the full spectrum. It really is.
Yeah. I saw you say on another show that you remember being in an immersion pod and you're a walking soul that entered Earth. So what exactly is that?
Man, how much time do we have? So we just started a Telegram chat, Star Walker. It's called a Star Walker support group. And this is for people specifically who would consider themselves a walk-in or who feel like they are in an immersion program. So this knowledge is not widely known at all, not even like the contemporary New Age communities, especially not there, because that whole system is wild. Anyways, the immersion program is where an ET or a interstellar being who's not from Earth will enter into a pod or this liquid substance in a container. It's an oval shaped container, and they go in and they're put into put into rest. So that body's put to rest and their consciousness is shifted to a different avatar. So if you think of the soul as a signal in the source, instead of like I can grab this water bottle, but you can't grab a soul. A soul is just a set of frequencies of thoughts and ideas in the medium, right? So your frequency makes you Sean, mine makes me Krys, but we're still the source, right? And so what happens in these immersions is that signal from that interstellar being is then projected into a different avatar. So that's kind of what's going on here.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
So we're all connected.
It's all the same soup. Yeah.
So what is the purpose then if we're all connected?
To expand, to continue to expand, to realize the fact that we are all connected. And as I go, you go, and as you go, we all go, right? So the more conscious and aware that you become of your true divinity, of your true cosmic self, the more access you have to parts of reality, right? So now we get into things like learning how to remote view, telekinesis, teleportation, time travel. These all become a byproduct of a soul who has a deeper understanding of its own self.
Wow.
Right?
So all that stuff is possible?
Yeah. This is what I teach people, this stuff. Yeah.
Holy crap. Teleportation?
Yeah. Yep.
How does that work?
Oh man. Again, time. I want to talk about time too. So essentially, when you understand that there's no point A and point B, right? Modern science, modern physics does not understand the concept of nonlinear reality. So they see things in light years,
right.
Point A to point B. But that's thinking from a Darwinian and a kind of a Newton mindset, right? Even Einstein at that level. But in ether physics, in true cosmology, you understand that everything is connected. Everything is just a field of frequencies. So if you want to experience something, you become resonant with that frequency. If you want to move to a different location, there's no location. It's non-local. It's non-linear. So through meditation, you can become resonant with the spaces that you would like to visit through your thoughts. Your thoughts create a vortex in the ether or a perturbation. Or you could say they set up a harmonic field that then become resonant with the destination where you want to go. So teleportation is really just a matter of shifting your frequency within yourself to such a degree where your body dematerializes, or I call it demolecular transfiguration, right? And now instead of being here, boom, you're over there. You become resonant with over there. Over there is just a different frequency.
That is crazy. But that wouldn't be your physical body. It'd be your spiritual body, right?
Depends on how much you've meditated, how much you have.
Holy crap.
Right? It depends how much smoothies you're drinking now. How much coconut water. It's both. I've had at least one or two experiences where I've been somewhere unintentionally while driving, and I found myself on a road. I'm like, whoa, how did I get here?
Damn.
So it can be physical.
Okay.
And that's kind of the goal. And this is what a lot of interstellar people do is, or star walkers is this is what the potential is, right? So as you expand your consciousness, you just see there's more and more you can do.
I love that.
You know,
I astral projected once in high school, and I haven't been able to do it since, but it was so fun.
You could do it easily.
I hope so. One day.
Sure.
It's been on my bucket list to do it again.
Yeah. So what do you think astral projection is?
I think it's your soul leaving your body.
How can your soul leave your body if your soul's not in your body to begin with? Is the radio signal in the radio?
So you're saying the soul's outside of the body to begin with?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, my physical body was in bed,
Yeah.
but I was flying over Europe,
There
like
it
in the
is.
clouds.
There it is. Right. So you disassociated from this set of frequencies that you would call the 3D, and you started to associate with a higher set of frequencies. So you created this disparity in your consciousness where Sean was laying in bed, but Sean was actually also flying. So you're just the set of frequencies. So where your attention goes, gravity flows. Where gravity flows, things begin to materialize and come into shape and come into form.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's interesting. So in the dream world, then, that's not your physical body in the dream world, right? That's...
So right now you're dreaming.
What do you mean?
So right now this is a dream. Your focus point is having this interview, doing the beautiful work you do in the world, having friendships and, whatever. That is all a set of ideas. But when you go to sleep at night, you also have a set of ideas that you start to focus on. So all this goes away. This isn't here.
Right.
This is only here whenever you focus on it. So we teach in Cosmic Academy how to move between the dream space and the waking state and how to connect that bridge. Because it is the same thing. You can influence your life from the dreams and vice versa.
Wow.
They go back and forth. It's a direct connection.
Some people, a lot of their dreams come true in real life. There must be some connection there for sure.
Yeah. So if you think of the astral realm or the dream realm as a higher frequency, people would say it's in the future, but the future is just a different set of frequencies. It's a different set of pulse rhythms in the ether. If you're having a dream, you're at a different harmonic. So you're seeing things, you're visualizing things, and then some of them may be able to correlate into this, what you would call, there's a bridge, right? So into this experience. So yeah, there's a direct link. There's a direct crossover.
Wow. Yes. My fiance, so many of her dreams have come true.
Who?
My fiance.
Oh, yeah.
She's very spiritual.
That's awesome.
She comes from a family of it. And dude, she's never been wrong about someone. She's able to read people.
Precognition.
Yeah.
So time, precognition. Precognition is simply, okay, if you think of, I love this example. I was just talking to a friend about that. This example, a slinky, right? If you have a slinky and you expand it like this, most people can only experience one rung of that slinky at a time. But when you look at it, all the rungs are connected, right? So time is kind of like this. So then you take the slinky and you squish it together. Now you can experience multiple rungs at the same moment.
Interesting.
Right? So time also on that note of precognition is just having awareness of self.
Yeah.
It's being aware of your own thoughts. Before you knew yourself to be Sean, before your parents named you, you were timeless. You had no objective reality of, here or there. You were just being.
Right.
Time only starts whenever you become aware. So when you become aware, then you can kind of tap in, tap out, see over there, see over here. It's a whole, this is why I teach.
This is mind blowing, dude. What's your stance on past lives? Do you think that's something, because I know with certain religions, they don't believe in that, right?
Yeah. All religions are meant to stifle true spiritual progression. There's no exception to that. They all have a bit of truth, but they're all end goal. The controllers of this wannabe, or the wannabe controllers of this realm, are not interested in the expansion of consciousness of the human being. So they set up different institutions, scientific, religious, and even spiritual institutions to stifle the development of the soul. With that said, with past lives, if you focus enough and if you're aware of enough, you can tune into your current lives that you're living in other spaces. It's all simultaneous. Again, there's no future, there's no past, there's only a difference in vibration.
Wow.
Difference in resonance. So I have definitely communicated with other aspects of myself and been able to bring information from there to here that I apply directly. This is what I'm doing in the immersion pod.
Wow.
A lot of this information I didn't read it. This is coming from my mind noetically, but it's advanced because it's not common knowledge on planet Earth, because it doesn't come from this realm.
That is crazy. So that comes up free will then. Do we have that?
To a degree. Better question is someone else forcing or making us do something? Well, that depends on who you think that someone else is. If you're thinking of your higher self or a future version of yourself, again, you who have already went through the lessons, you can come back in time and speak to yourself in a dream and say, hey, Sean, dude, you got to interview this guy. You got to interview this person. Oh, you tell your fiance, I had this really cool dream. Someone came to me, but it was you from a future or a past.
Wow.
Right? Because you're a consciousness.
Yeah.
You're not a body. You're a set of ideas, but that set of ideas is only limited to what you allow yourself to remember. So, free will is a matter of perception. On one level, yes. Do I have a free will to drink this coconut water? Yes. But do I have free will to go rent a $5,000 hotel? No, because I don't have the money at the moment. So free will is all relative to the perception of the being.
That is fascinating. Yeah, there's certain people I come across, and then I'll hear a voice in my head like, I should really have them on the show.
Yeah.
So that's fascinating that you say that.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, because go ahead.
No, I always thought it was my subconscious or something, but maybe it's a higher self.
Yeah, it could be your subconscious. It could also be, your higher self. There's this bundle of nerves we have in the back of our brain. It's called the RAS, Reticular Activation System. So it's like if you get a new car, you see that new car everywhere.
Yep.
Right? Because that bundle of nerves is responsible for filtering out information and making relevant what you focus on. So as you focus on something, our physiology is designed to create neurological networks between the ether or the astral or the pure potential field in this specific realm.
Yeah.
So if your focus is I want to have great people on the show, it'll happen.
Yeah.
Because you're going to set that precedent for your own field, and your brain's going to help you do that.
I love that.
Yeah.
So if the past doesn't exist, how does generational trauma work then? Because that seems to be passed down from parents and stuff.
If you draw a circle, where's the future and where's the past in that
draw a circle?
Where's the start of the circle?
Wouldn't it be at the top?
Well, that's all relative, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, I guess there's no set.
If we don't know where the person started to draw the circle, it would just be a circle, right? So generational trauma is not really passed down as much as the soul is still in resonance with that set of energy. You see what I'm saying? So you incarnate into a family, that soul is still in resonance with that part of the circle, right? So humans, we love to think of things as, again, starting point, middle point, ending point.
Yeah.
But reality, it doesn't work like that. It's a conglomeration of a set of ideas, feelings, thoughts, a super frequency, and you only experience what you're in resonance with. So that's why they say, like, this person needs to break the family curse, meaning we don't know how to get out of this frequency. We don't know how to shift our thought patterns and our life habits to move into a different pulse rhythm so we can have a different experience.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that family curse is usually a test, right?
it's like a rite of passage. So it's like you can see it as a test on one level for sure. But it's more of a, like, there's no right or wrong. It's just more of like, what do you want to experience? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Right. If I say I want to go around and doing great podcasts with great podcast hosts, I need to be in the position to do that. So, things will happen to determine whether or not that's possible. You can see that as a test or just as a kind of mere reflection of where one is in their journey.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that you said there's no right or wrong, because that's what they teach you growing up, like right and wrong. And I don't like that.
No, it's awful.
It should be more subjective, right?
Yeah, it should be more subjective, and everything everything is relative. That's one thing Einstein did get right. Is relativity. Not much else. But, we don't talk about Tesla. We don't talk about Faraday. We don't talk about Steinmetz. We don't talk about these other people enough. Einstein's all over the place in school, ironically enough.
Yeah.
But if we teach a soul, like a kid, how to look at reality subjectively, right? There's this great story. There was this college professor, and he has a book. There's about a bunch of kids in class. He's holding up this book. He says, "What color is the book?" And the kids say red. He says, "No, it's black." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "It's definitely black." The kid's like, "No, it's red." He's like, "Whoever says it's red again is going to fail." And so everyone kind of starts leaving, and they're like confused, talking like, "What is this guy? What's this guy on? Why is he saying this?" And he turns the book around, and it's black. So on his cover, it was black. On their front cover, it was red.
Right.
So everything's just perception. Perception is based on your thoughts and ideas and what you think is or is not possible about yourself individually, about society, and about reality as a whole. That's literally the secret to everything.
Yeah, that is fascinating. What do you think about mathematics and numerology?
Math is the reflection of frequencies. It's the reflection of harmonics in the ether. So, the movie Matrix?
Yeah.
Everything is like all
Classic.
numbers.
Yeah.
That's true. That's what it is.
Zeros and ones?
Zeros and ones. Not even just zeros and ones, but just a set of numbers. So like each location, like right now, this environment that we've set up has a specific pulse rhythm in the ether. I keep saying that, but it's true. It has a specific pattern. There's a numerical pattern to this energy right now. If you're advanced enough in your consciousness and your technology, you could type this pattern into a computer and take this moment right now and replicate it. There's some advance in
like a simulation.
Yes, and in a way, yes. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's the future, right? With AI and simulations.
It could be today. It could have been.
Some people think we're in one right now. Simulation.
A simulation?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you feel about that?
I don't know. Mixed opinion. Elon Musk said there's a good chance. Could be possible, but I'm not sure. I would say I'm into spirituality, so I don't know. That the two kind of clash there. So
science and spirituality are meant to be one thing. They are one thing. Interstellar races, like we view things as like there's not opposites, right? So there's no dichotomy. There's unanimity or the unification. So instead of science, spirituality, they're one thing, and you look at it as complementary to the other. So with that said, Earth science is not equipped to answer those kind of questions. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the mental fortitude to actually dig into the deeper wisdoms of reality. So it'll push things like, oh, we're in a simulation, but they're only seeing as far in front of them as they can think.
Right.
That's it. Right. So I think a simulation is a crude way to explain something that people don't understand, which is the nature of reality. They can only think in digital social hour. Interesting. No pun intended, but they can only think in a digital way. But if you look at reality of like, what's the first thing that would make something digital is you need some sort of measuring point.
Right.
That measuring point becomes a thought. And that thought is based on a frequency. That frequency is based on a harmonic. That harmonic is based on an etheric rhythm. So I know we don't have all day.
It's deep.
Yeah, man.
No, and the more you learn about this, the more you realize the human race actually isn't as smart as we think.
Oh my, no. And that's intentional. That's through the schooling you were talking about. It's through the religions. It's controlled spirituality. So I'm an outlier in this field because I don't talk about the typical 5D ascension and all those kinds of things because I've allowed myself to expand into my own consciousness. Really, really think freely.
Wow.
Like actually, 98% of the information I get comes from my own meditation, observing things, listening to self, not from what I heard from someone or something else. Usually things are reflected back to me that I've already discovered.
Oh, wow.
And so this is where we have to get to as a race if we want to evolve.
Yeah. So are you channeling?
I'm communicating with the ether, with the source. You know,
Got
Dr. What's his name?
Stephen Greer.
Him, but I was going to go to comics, Xavier.
Yeah.
So Professor X, he sits on the chair and he puts on the Yep. So that's what I do. Essentially in meditation, you have access to the field.
Interesting.
Right? And so now you can pull information, you can gather wisdom and knowledge from yourself, from others. And yeah, so
you start wondering if these geniuses in the past used some sort of spirituality practice like this.
This is like the pinnacle of everything. Yes. There's no way you can't truly advance in the way that people think without having a spiritual foundation. Everything really does start and finish in the ether, in the source.
I could see that. I had a guest on earlier today who said the conscious mind is not as smart as the subconscious.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, because the subconscious is really the run in the show. There's a really cool book called How Your Subconscious Mind Controls Your Everyday Behavior.
It's like 95% of your choices, right? People don't even know that.
No,
it's so crazy because I'll hop in the shower and I'm like, why am I wiping the same spot as soon as I get in every day?
I know. And people think they're thinking for themselves, but they're thinking in pattern. They're thinking in groove. They're thinking in social structure, right? And so to really start to think for yourself, you have to be by yourself. You have to rid yourself of all thought and become nothing. You have to become zero, right? But at that 0 point is the pure potential. That's where everything really starts to blossom and really start to figure things out.
When did you start really diving into this stuff? Was it from childhood or was it later on?
So I had, I had a lot of experiences as a kid for sure. Was raised Christian, but I had a lot of supernatural events happen to me, but there was a lot of divine intervention in the form of extraction or abduction of interstellar kind.
Whoa.
And this is where my walk-in experience happened, where I became a higher version of myself, but consciously here now. So you could say there was like a soul swap or a walk-in experience. So this has been a slow progress for me ever since I was a kid. I'm coming into my mission now, you could say. That's
interesting. So all those stories of alien abductions possibly could have truth to them.
Possibly could have truth. Possibly could have governmental ties to them.
I don't trust their alien videos or whatever they post.
No, please don't. And honestly, and you have a great opportunity to be in service to a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
I think the more that you continue to unravel your own mind and explore what makes sense to you, this platform is going to be even more expansive and powerful.
I appreciate that.
Wanted to, throw that out there.
No, I really appreciate that coming from you. That means a lot. I've had to do a lot of unlearning, dude.
Of course.
So much unlearning.
Yeah.
From public school, I love my parents, but they taught me what they knew, you know what I mean?
Right.
From parents, college, friends, because people are so infiltrated, they don't even know.
No. And the more that you try to tell someone that they're infiltrated, the more that you're going to push back.
Right.
So this matrix is not, it's designed to set a certain rate of thinking. So there's outliers in this field, people like myself and others who are here to shift that, to provide different information and knowledge, to give people an actual choice.
Right.
Because most humans, they don't have a choice. They, like you said, they go to school, they get programmed, and then that's life. But you mentioned real quick the abductions and everything. What I'll say on that is a lot of people are having those experiences, but they don't have the spiritual foundation to understand it. Something that we provide in Cosmic Frequency is a space where you can actually make sense of those experiences, but also know why they're happening and know that it's usually actually not malevolent. A lot of the times there's starseeds or starwalkers and people of higher frequency who get abducted to have their physical body be shifted to fit different consciousness, which would be their higher consciousness. So it's a science, but we really aren't alone. But the way that mainstream spirituality talks about ETs and extraterrestrials is all organized to create a fear narrative, and it's not something that I buy at all.
Distractive for sure, and a lot of people believe it. I watched ET growing up, and I believe that.
I was just thinking about that show the other day.
ET,
yeah, I was like making the noises, when he's like in the cornfield and everything. It's like, I was
that movie scared me as a kid.
I know. It's like, Steven Spoon, what are you doing? That's wild.
They're good at instilling fear at a subconscious level
around the truth.
Yeah,
right.
Like I used to watch the news every day, and I would go to school like in a state of fear, and you can't grow like that.
Yep. And so what you have to do is, like you said, you have to get out in nature. You have to learn how to allow your mind to be free. And Jiddu Krishnamurti says the mind must always be aware of its own programming. So the first thing is to become aware of what programs you have running, and then it's to face those programs, and then decide whether or not those programs are needed anymore.
Right.
If they make sense for your life. If not, kick them out. So you can incorporate something of higher value.
And there's different techniques to face them. Some people do therapy. Some people do psychedelics. What's been your experience with methods like that?
Meditation.
That's the best one.
That for me, I don't do psychedelics. I don't promote them. And I know there's beneficial things to them. A lot of people are like, what? How could you say that?
I am surprised.
I know. Everyone is. Every time. You have. I'm like, nah. But I'm here to show people that you can do this organically, that you can trust yourself, because your mind is meant to unfold over time, right? A lot of things on psychedelics you get exposed to before you're ready, and it can traumatize you. Not that there's not benefits to it. And I do see that. I do see the herbal and medicinal benefits, but as a whole, I really feel like we are like a lotus, a flower. We're meant to expand over time. And our consciousness, we can do that in meditation. But in modern society, people just don't want to sit. They don't want to be present. They want to quick.
Yeah. You could get there through breath work too.
Yes. Breath work, nature, art. A lot of, there's so many paths to the same ocean,
What's your meditation technique? Is it just to stay silent?
Nowadays, man, that's a great question, because it's shifted. Before it was, clearing things out, healing trauma, but nowadays it's really discovering deeper wisdoms of the cosmos. So what I'll do nowadays is I'll sit and I won't try to figure anything out. I'll go into stillness, and I'll let my consciousness go. And what happens is your body becomes really light, your mind becomes clear, there's this moment of blankness, and then you start to feel things, you start to sense things, and then you get kind of words put together. And, oh, okay, there's the answer I was looking for. So this is, again, tapping into the ethers. That's what I do. Wow. It's like where I'm most comfortable.
Yeah, and the Akashic records are able to be accessed in that state, right?
All the time. Yep.
And that has the answers to everything in life.
It has the answers to the questions that are compatible with you. I mean, yeah. So like, if you ask a question, but you're not compatible with the answer, you're not going to get it.
Really?
So you have to be compatible with the information that you want.
Okay.
That's the key, right? Everything's there for you, but you can't beg and wish and hope and pray. It's not about that. It's about becoming conscious of how you operate as a soul and taking that seriously to the point where you can apply that wisdom to your life to actually make a shift, to actually make a change. So the Akashic Records is different for you. Your Akashic Records might be more expanded or less expanded than mine, right? And vice versa, because you only can experience your set of ideas and frequencies that you are in resonance with.
Interesting. Have you seen these darkness retreats?
Yeah, with people, the eyes, like,
Yeah. What do you think of those? I was considering doing one.
I think they're great.
Okay.
Before I knew anything about those, I would go out into the woods and sit in the dark.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like I would dress all in black because I wanted to really face the darkness. I wanted to learn what the darkness was. And it was terrifying. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. It was at this place called Bear's Den.
Jeez.
Right? And there was a big cave, but I wanted to
Holy crap.
Yeah, face it. So going into the darkness has taught me a lot. Do you know what Batman is afraid of? I know this is random.
Batman.
Yeah.
But no, I don't.
His greatest fear is bats.
No.
Yes.
What?
So think about the wisdom that holds, though. So when you become one with that which you fear, you're free.
Interesting.
You integrate it. It becomes part of your journey. It no longer has power over you. So the darkness retreats are great because you get the chance to face yourself. Really.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's one
cool.
fear I want to conquer. I'm super afraid of the dark. I found out my childhood home was haunted recently.
Whoa,
and I used to sleepwalk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I used to sleepwalk and I used to wake up outside. I used to wake up in random rooms in the basement.
Me too.
Yeah. One time I had sleep paralysis.
Yeah. I was just telling someone about, I would wake up and I would be on the stairs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so that's funny. And I think that's the thing. I see you and I see you like there was a lot of awesome energy flowing through you. And it's a matter of like continuing to trust that and to go into that. But yeah, the darkness is not scary. The darkness is just misunderstood. It really is. But you're a soul. You can't be destroyed. Nothing can hurt you.
Right.
there's a story I tell about a dream I had where I was terrified of a bear, and this bear was chasing me because I watched a really crappy movie that I don't recommend about a bear.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say the name because I don't want people to watch it, but I had this nightmare over and over. And I said, I'm going to face this bear. I can't get hurt. I'm the source. I know I'm powerful. I go to sleep with that intention. The bear starts chasing me through the woods, through the house, up into the bedroom. And I'm like, I stop. I said, hey, hold on. I face the bear and I say, stop. And I yell, stop, like that. And it literally gets smaller and smaller and smaller and goes away.
Wow.
So you're that powerful. Your consciousness is just reflecting of the thoughts that you hold that you think are true. So if you think that that demon or whatever is haunting you and has power over you, it's going to continue to stay there.
Right.
Because now it knows it has you.
Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, I used to have dreams of running away from big monsters and stuff, and then one day I turned around and faced it, and I never had that dream again.
Yeah, man. See?
Just one decision.
Yep, that's it.
Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's something you can do in like this waking life too, is like face all the monsters that we see. Monsters as in like, the hard things that people go through. You can really face it, and you can really get through it by not making it this huge daunting thing,
I used to think you could run away from problems, but you never can.
Wherever you go, there you are.
They follow you everywhere.
That's it.
Like I used to literally think I could just push everything to the side, but it always comes back in one shape or another.
And understand what we talked about so far about frequency. Why is that? Why would it follow you?
Because you haven't conquered it.
Because you haven't conquered it, and because you're still setting the energetic framework for it to exist, which is your thoughts, which is your frequency. You haven't shifted your mindset. So you're still compatible with that experience. So people think that they can change their lives by going on vacation, doing this, doing that. But the only way you can really change your life is by changing how you think, changing how you relate to the world, how you relate to your own thoughts and feelings, how you relate to the information that you're receiving from the outside and how you apply it or you don't apply it.
Yeah.
So it's all really an inner framework.
That's fascinating. Yeah. Have you measured your frequency levels?
I don't know how to. If you find a scientist that can do that, let me know.
There's brain technology. I'll send you it.
Yeah.
It can be measured now. I'm sure yours is super high. It has to be with what you're doing. Like, I'd be shocked if it was low.
Yeah. Honestly, there's so much. Like, even just like the bracelets that I'm wearing, this is all technology. This is all designed to help raise the frequency.
Oh,
clothing.
Which crystals are in those? I
don't necessarily know, but it's more about, these are magnets. And my brother Alexander, shout out to him, makes these, and they're really, really powerful. And they actually, they're set. You can call it like a ether physics device. But this same thing with this. So the ether follows spirals and vortexes. So when you wear jewelry and you wear things with vortexes and spirals, you're actually harmonizing the field around you.
Wow.
Therefore increasing your frequency, therefore giving you more access to information.
That's great. You're also wearing linen, right?
Also wearing linen.
I just bought a ton of linen.
So good for you.
I got rid of all my polyester.
Please get rid of the polyester. I don't even know, all the other crappy stuff. Like it's a detriment to.
So bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh my gosh, it's a game changer. I wore it, and one day it felt so much better.
You can feel it, right? You don't want to take it off.
No, it's nuts. I thought it was cap at first, and I was like,
no, man, no. Well, that's the thing is everything really is based on frequency, and all frequency is different rhythms, which are different harmonics and different numbers. That's it. So when you shift what you do, even by the clothes you wear, your whole life changes, because now you're in a different state of mind.
Yeah. Anything else you want to close off with, or any upcoming events for you?
I'm going on a 7-day cruise, contact at sea from Seattle to Alaska.
Nice.
So people can check that out. CosmicFrequency.org is the website. We have a Cosmic Academy. We have the Starwalker support group, one-on-one services. I have a whole bunch of things I'm ready to offer the world and really move people into this vibration of the cosmos. So
beautiful.
Yeah, man.
We'll link it all below. That's an important thing to learn, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think that the last thing I would say is, like, if people are really serious about their spiritual journey, start to understand ether physics. Start to understand the way in which reality is organized outside of mainstream spirituality. So
love it. We'll link everything below. Thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for watching, guys, as always. Cool. See you tomorrow.